talking with Kevin Marcy from Georgia Funeral Care and Cremation Services.
That's correct.
In Ackworth, Georgia. And we just wanted to invite Kevin in to see what life is like in his business. And first question, Kevin, is how did you get into the business?
I actually grew up in the funeral business. I'm a 5th generation funeral director. My family funeral home, the original funeral home, is in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, 152 years old. So I've got a long heritage in funeral service. Yep. So I learned from my grandfather, my father, the importance of caring and loving on people, making sure that their needs are taken care of at some of the worst times in their life. It's kind of in my DNA. You know, as I was growing up, I tried different things, did different things, but I always came back to what I loved and cherished, and that's funeral service.
So Kevin, what sets you apart from other funeral homes?
There's a lot of funeral homes out there, and there's a lot of really good ones, and there's a lot of good funeral directors. But when my wife and I decided, you know, what out there in the funeral industry are people missing? What aren't they getting? Because, you know, we just love people, we love this industry. So what was missing? So we realized that, first of all, affordability was not out there. I heard from people about how expensive it was to bury their loved one, to cremate their loved one. So I've always had that in the back of my head. I kept thinking, why is it so expensive? You know, I worked in the business, I grew up in the business, so now that I'm here, I see it, and I'm just like, why is it not affordable for people as it should? The other part of that is I grew up in a family full of veterans, so I love our veterans. So we have dedicated part of our service to working with veterans and their families, going that extra mile for folks. So the two things most that I can say that set us apart, besides the service that we provide, is the affordability. We created a business that people can afford. They don't have to go out and create GoFundMe pages to pay for a simple cremation or a funeral. We make it affordable. The other part of that is the veteran side of things. You know, the other day I was at the Post 29 American Legion here in Marietta for their Vietnam war veterans memorial service. You know, we support those kind of things. We support the Georgia Vietnam Veterans Alliance. Anything that we can do to love on veterans and make sure that they and their families know that we appreciate what they do, and we know what they went through, and we thank them for their service.
And what is a good referral for you?
Well, I think a good referral across the board would be somebody who's really thinking about their future, any age. They can be a young couple, maybe going to have children, can be an older couple, maybe someone retiring that really wants to plan. Someone that's come to see you, they want to, you know, get a will taken care of, maybe make sure their family's taken care of and a trust is created, things like that. But they also are thinking about planning ahead for their final expenses and their final services, because it gives them a chance to make the decisions now and not leave it to their family.
Right.
And you know, death is the only absolute certainty in the world, right?
Yes.
Absolute. So it's important for people to plan for it, and it's not getting any less expensive. It doesn't matter who you work with. I highly recommend that they pre-plan and pre-fund it, simply because it'll lock in that price. So for a service they're going to need in 5, 10, 20, 30 years, they can pay for it today, and that inflation won't touch
it.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
Kevin Marcy from Georgia Funeral Care and Cremation Services, thanks for stopping by today.
I appreciate it so much. Good to see you.
Thanks.